That's always been my plan with any of the hare scrambles, but especially here after biking it yesterday, seeing how silty it was, I definitely wanted to get the whole shot and try to check out as much as possible and use the dust to my advantage. Definitely, in my personal opinion, just anytime that I've been in the dust, I don't try to push as hard because I'd rather, get a finish and get at least second compared to, not finishing in DNF because of an injury or anything. So yeah, I definitely think the dust was a huge factor for me in being able to check out and have clear track on the first lap, because I think honestly, by the time that we were like 10 minutes in, I think I honestly almost had 30 seconds on second place. So yeah, I definitely think the dust was a huge advantage for whoever was in the lead today. After the last two hare scrambles that I've done, and because we've been off the hare and hounds for a little bit now, I think I honestly have to make a couple adjustments. I think I went a little more on the stiffer route of things, and the bike doesn't really soak up the stuff as well and kind of deflects a little bit. So that's honestly good feedback for myself though going into ISD at the end of the summer, because I kind of want the bike to obviously work good there, and doing all these different types of racing, it's really beneficial for going into 6 days, because you never know what you're going to get. So yeah, it was good in some spots, but other spots it was super deflecting and it wasn't the best. But yeah, no, those are just small minor things that we have to fix, so nothing major.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to come back next year for sure. I think the second half of the loop, where it was like a little bit more technical, like through the trees, that was super fun. I had a lot of fun on that, and like the last downhill section, that was sick. I think so. I think it made it a lot cooler for like even watching the races. You got like the lift and everything. I think it just brings a lot more people out when it's like a cool place like this. Yeah, I thought about that going out onto the third loop. I was like, I need to kind of try and stay out of the main line because the ruts were getting super deep. And I didn't even think about the dust level, but just like, I just didn't want to get stuck in them. So I was trying to ride like outside of the main line a little bit on the third loop, which I feel like helped in some sections. And I did wreck in a few sections. Not really any bad crashes. I did wreck I wrecked like 2 times, but one of them was in front of all the cameras, so that was cool. But yeah, no bad wrecks, so that's good.
When I seen that she was was stuck, I was kind of happy, honestly, because I was sick riding in the dust, and I thought that was my opportunity. And then I made it over the logs, but couldn't get around, so I had to get off and push it. And then I tripped and went to my knee. She got around me, so then I was in the dust some more, and then what happened? I think she actually tipped over again, and I got around her. Then the last lap, I had like half a lap of clear air, and it was pretty fun. But in the dust, I wouldn't say it was too fun. It was all honestly pretty gnarly.
Yep, Zane, I had him, and then he came up underneath me and almost collided with Mateo. And dude, I went off into the right where it was perfectly smooth, never let off, and right at the top, just never let off into the woods. Got him.
I feel like I missed a good opportunity today. I got a hole shot and got a little excited, was battling up the hill and hit a rock, and me and Cole Zeller went down. So that made for a long, dusty day for me. So yeah, a little bit disappointed that I wasted a good opportunity, had a good start and could have had some clean air, but.
Colton and Cole crashed on the start, and it let me be the first one in the woods, and kind of rode smooth. Jaden was riding really good, and he was behind me, and I was kind of just trying to keep him in my dust and be smart, because I know, especially with Jaden in front of me, a second was as good as a win, basically.
He got a good start, and then from there I just knew I had to adapt to what was going on and just figure out a way to get around him, whether that be in the pit or a spot that I pick out on the trail.
I really focused on the start and just did my homework before I cycled, kind of picked my spots where I thought I'd be good, picked my spots where I thought I'd be bad and where I could manage, and just tried to just stay mentally calm the whole time. So complete opposite than Glen Helen, but always the same game plan. Try to get out front and just, depending on how I'm feeling, either manage or just hammer down. Well, it was pretty, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty technical, and there were some sections I was like, wow, they got this in there for all of us. There's the B senior, the A senior. I was like, but that's cool. I think that's some more stuff the sport needs to challenge some people. You know, that can't always be a cakewalk. You gotta be coming off in tears sometimes, frustrated. But yeah, I picked my spots where I knew I was really bad in some spots, and I just where you can charge, I would charge, and definitely you can make up a lot of time like that. So just like when I cycle, I was like, probably those spots you saw me where I was like, I'm gonna drop the hammer right here.
Well, I've been thinking about it all week. I haven't really talked to anyone else about it, just kind of kept it to myself. And then today I was like, you know what if I just decide to go out and race pro? I mean, it's super dusty. You know, I'd start first, have a chance of getting a hole shot, and just dragging legs and getting everyone else dusted out. But I'm pretty far down. I was pretty far down in the 2D Pro class, and I was just like, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to catch back up, so might as well race the last two in pro and see how it goes.
Yeah, we just had a kind of a freak clutch thing go on, something we haven't really seen before. So we'll have to look a little bit more into that and what happened there. But yeah, just pretty much immediately into the race, didn't have a clutch. You know, I had maybe like 50% of it off the start. I had a GoPro on, so you'll probably see me, you know, just stalling it 5 times right off the bat. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a different gear that I feel like you can only go into if you're in the race. And when you're in that situation, you're not in the race, right? So you can't ever really get into it as much as you would be if you were in the battle. But, you know, the whole thing is why you race dirt bikes is you like riding dirt bikes, right? So I just enjoy it while I'm out there. You know, going fast to me is fun. So you just go fast and hit corners fast and do whatever's fun, right? So that's kind of how I get back into it whenever that kind of stuff happens, is just go enjoy the riding. If there was any sliver of hope, you might push a little bit harder, but I think I was about 11 minutes back after that, so there wasn't really any hope there.
It was weird. It honestly felt like a dry mutter. It's kind of the best way to explain it. It was kind of weird, but it was fun. It made it really technical and challenging, and yeah, I think more hare scrambles need to be like this. Something that's, you know, hard and brings out, like I'd say, real technical skill and stuff. I thought it was badass. Obviously it was hard. Probably most people didn't think of it like that, but I mean, like I said, I thought it was challenging, and I really find something that's technically challenging more fun than something that's kind of speed challenging that you have to send it. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it feels good to finally not have to fight through adversity and really just have a good turnout, you know, a good race. And last two have been pretty rough. I lost my brakes at Doyle. Yeah, sagebrush picked up and caught fire on my caliper, and then the other one, I broke my fork lug. It broke the brake caliper off at Glen Helen on the first lap. So just feels good to finally not have to deal with anything. I had a pretty smooth race. I had a few tip overs, fallen rider the first half, but I kind of knew that as long as I pitted early or late, I could get around them, and I felt really strong today and just a lot faster than most people.
Yeah, the dust was gnarly. It was, I've never ridden anything quite like this. It was basically you're just in a silt rut weaving through the trees pretty much all day. So that was gnarly and a new experience for me. Something I got better, I felt like, during the race, but yeah, the leaders, they were obviously quite a bit better than me today, so got some work to do. Yeah, this is totally out of my wheelhouse, really. I've never really spent much time in the woods at all. Today was my second time racing in the woods, so gonna go back these next 2 weeks and try to figure out somewhere to ride back home. I don't have much, but figure out somewhere to ride and try to get a little better in the woods, because I know those guys are gonna be really fast in Bellingham.
Probably there's a bike only section or pro only section straight up this mountain, and then down the backside, you know, it's like some local stuff that I grew up riding. It's like snowboarding on a dirt bike, and there's actually wet dirt there, and that's where I had a lot of fun.
From Washington, so it's definitely, this is like my backyard almost, you know, a little bit wetter up there, but I've been riding in the mountains my whole life, so this was real comforting. Feels good, you know. Mateo's still pretty far up there. I got some work to do until I can contest for an overall, but it's always good. That's my second time doing that now, and so you know, just gotta keep on trying.
All the kind of north-facing stuff was wet, and some of it had snow on it, and all the stuff that obviously wasn't north-facing was pretty dry and dusty. But yeah, there was some creek crossings out there that had some moisture, and there was some good dirt out there, but it was kind of spotty, and then you get back into the silt and then back in the good dirt. But yeah, it was still a good time.
I had to run Tomaselli back down once he passed me, which felt good. Second to last lap, and then Jaden had like, I don't know, 50 seconds on me. And I ran him down and was 5 seconds behind him at the finish, which he still would have beat me in the overall, but it would have been felt good to be able to catch him a whole minute and 5 seconds in one lap. So.
Dust sucks, you know, but not much you can do about it. Just gotta ride above it or ride below it. So just keep pushing through it.
Nice job, you guys. Congratulations on a great ride today, and thank you for coming out.